the world.
What's good, everyone? This is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, give you the raw content that you deservedly need. And yes, we have to talk about the aftermath of LaMelo's injury announcement. A lot of folks are coming out saying how this is a sad situation, which is true, and that they don't get to see the excitement, the joy on the court until a couple of months. But I was impressed with what Skip Bayless said. I know we have disagreements and so forth, but Skip Bayless had said something that we all have been saying. LaMelo brings life to the court. It's fun to watch. It's a blessing just to see. And I'm going to show you a clip, well, it's an audio clip of what he says. Also, you get to hear the diagnosis of LaMelo Ball in his wrist/thumb. It's going to be very informative. And sit back and watch. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's go.
Of the season after fracturing his wrist during the Hornets' loss to the Clippers on Saturday. Ball will be meeting with a specialist early this week to confirm the timetable. But if his season is over, he will end the year with averages of 16, 6, and 6 and leave Charlotte as the projected 8 seed in the playoffs. So Shannon, has Ball done enough to hang on to Rookie of the Year at this point?
No, because Skip, it was close. Edwards here and Edwards was neck and neck.
Well, I don't think they were neck and
I
neck.
think
I still had LaMelo.
But I think it's going to be a situation, Skip. Joel Embiid and Malcolm Brogdon. Joel Embiid got hurt. Skip, who won the MVP? Who won the Rookie of the Year? And that's what it's going to be.
Who even remembers?
And to give you another example, Zion and Ja Morant.
Okay.
Nothing else you can say, Skip. I don't think, Skip, you can't miss, Skip, you can't miss half the season and still be Rookie of the Year. It's not possible. Okay. It's impossible. Right. Like I said, I believe it was neck and neck. And now that it was just these two guys. Nobody else was even in the discussion.
No. When I heard this last night, I just threw up my hands.
I said the same thing.
At least LeBron's going to come back,
right.
We hope. I'm going to knock on wood for him. But LaMelo's gone for the year? You want to talk about a breath of the freshest air maybe in a decade?
If he's entertaining. There's not a whole lot of guys that you can say that are entertaining. He's entertaining.
What a bummer. What a loss. And what a stretch he had. He starting on February 1st. He had started 21 games for them. In those 21, he had averaged 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And in those 21 games, he shot 43% from 3. I wasn't sure. He shot 25% in the Australian Pro League, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they play more defense. I don't know. But 43%, and he was averaging 2 steals a game through those 21. They went 11 and 10 in those 21 games, which for Charlotte it's pretty good. And they were clinging right in there with the 8 seed, but they were only 2.5. They are only 2.5 games back of the 4 seed.
When have we ever thought of mention Charlotte in playoffs this late in the season?
You got that right. So all of a sudden, Michael Jordan finally had something he could be proud of and that he could sell.
Got one right.
He got Gordon Hayward's averaging 20, and Scary Terry Rozier's averaging 20, and now he had LaMelo averaging 20 and just lighting up the place. And Devontae Graham has been
coming off the bench, lighting folks up. PJ Washington was playing well.
Malik Monk is suddenly showing signs of
Bridges.
Whew. They got a basketball team with a real basketball coach, a protege of Popovich. You know, he could really coach him up. And all of a sudden, I thought this was going to be, you know, they were becoming, or they had become, must-see TV for me.
Right.
And he's gone because he fell and put his hand down and it broke his wrist.
Right.
And he's still just a baby teenager, you know, and it's like, oh, God.
Right.
No.
Yeah, but Skip, the thing is that he'll learn how to fall.
Yeah.
He'll get better at that because the guy you see, Russ knows how to fall. Dame. They guys know how to go
better.
Right, because you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it a bunch.
They don't call it the hardwood for nothing. Because
Yeah.
it is hard.
Yeah, it ain't no
right?
giving that.
No, there ain't no give. So the point was, I wasn't sure about LaMelo, and now I'm totally sold on him. And he has a chance, a real shot at becoming even better than his brother.
Yeah.
And his brother missed the game yesterday, the Pelicans game, and they were, you want to talk about special at Denver? But there was no Lonzo. So now he's on the trading block and a bunch of teams are interested, so he may be on the move.
Yeah, because you're like, there got to be some truth to this, because you don't hear nothing about Zion on the trading block or Brandon Ingram.
No.
All you hear is Zoe to Atlanta, and Zoe to this team, to the Clippers, and Zoe to that team.
do?
There's some fire here.
Knicks?
The Knicks, yeah, the Knicks.
Yeah.
So Skip, for this to keep coming up, I'm like, what? I like Zoe in this situation, Skip, because they get up and down. And he plays, I mean, Josh Hart, Bledsoe, really the only guys they have to play defense.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody else playing. Big Adams, he tried because he clogged up the lane. But those other two guys.
But I thought this was made in basketball heaven. Zoe and Zion?
Skip, he getting six assists a game.
Just
on
on
lobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just on lobs.
But somehow he and Bledsoe aren't fitting because
Right.
they're both point guards.
Right.
I don't know. And then they.
But I like Bledsoe. I like Bledsoe plays hard, but I like Zoe for this team better than Bledsoe.
Yeah, but yesterday I can't sell what happened because they took the game over late and there was no Lonzo,
Right.
and it worked. Maybe it sort of clarified. It sort of cleared itself up.
Zoe might not be playing anymore because the trade deadline's coming up soon, right?
Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern
I don't know if
time.
I don't know if he'll play another game for them.
Well, I started thinking last night.
I think that's why they kept him back.
Did they have a hip injury, quote unquote, around hip?
That's what you want him at. So where do you think he goes? Clippers?
I wouldn't mind seeing the Clippers, but again, I'm with you. He belongs where he is. I don't know why that's not perfect. Would he fit on the? Yes, he would fit. Yes.
Well, his dad said he hope they do trade him because he don't like New Orleans.
His dad's having a rough weekend here.
Yeah.
Lost youngest and now oldest may be on the move
Again. I want Lonzo to find a home. I want because I like him because he's a good kid. He works. He plays defense.
Now he's becoming a man.
Yeah, I just want somebody to be happy with what he is.
Agreed.
He's not going to be Magic Johnson. No. I don't know who sold y'all those bill of goods said he's going to be Magic. He's not going to be Magic.
Did.
No, Magic is Magic. There's only one Magic.
Even though it was nice to hear Skip say the compliments about LaMelo, how he changes the game, how he impacts his teammates, he is a showstopper, a guy that brings the team together. Despite saying all that, my only problem is Shannon and Skip at times throwing jabs, whether it's the father, LeVar, or Lonzo. You see how at the end of that they just brought up Lonzo being the number 2 pick, and who convinced them of selling Lonzo. You didn't have to say all that. Just stick to the topic. Talk about LaMelo and the impact it has on the Charlotte Hornets and fans. That's all they had to do. But they just can't, for some reason, get out of their way and keep it to the basics. But I'm not surprised. It's old media. Y'all know what old media does. This is their lingo. This is their lane. And I'm not surprised. But it's good to hear Skip state the truth. It's a big deal missing LaMelo Ball. Even if it's a miracle that the Hornets make the playoffs and they get a lower seed, it's not going to mean the same. The ratings are going to be down. The fan interest is not going to be that important. Just keeping it real with y'all. Now, this other segment, this is a doctor, and I think this was from Fox Sports. He's going to break down how long is the recovery process for LaMelo Ball. Check it out.
Hornets' rising young star LaMelo Ball looks to have suffered a fractured right wrist playing against the LA Clippers this past weekend. From the video, you can see where LaMelo lands on his hand after the layup. LaMelo continued to play through the game, but if you look at the clip, he clearly knew something was wrong, especially on this thumb side of the wrist. According to the Hornets, the x-rays and MRI came back showing that he had a fractured bone in the wrist. Also, according to reports, the fracture is close to his right thumb. Although we'll have to wait for official confirmation, from my vantage point, the concern is this is a scaphoid bone fracture, which is the most commonly fractured bone in the wrist, especially with the mechanism of injury that he had, although it certainly could be one of the other wrist bones. The scaphoid bones is one of the 8 wrist bones and is important for stability and motion at the wrist joint. And it's actually a Greek term which means boat because the bone has a curved shape to it. Depending on the location of the break in this bone, these oftentimes require surgery to stabilize the 2 pieces and allow for solid healing. The reason for this is the blood supply to the part of the scaphoid closest to the thumb is not that great, and it can result in issues down the road if this bone doesn't heal. The recovery time for this type of injury can be up to 12 to 16 weeks, depending on the exact treatment and if it's truly the scaphoid bone that is broken. In rehab, he'll have to work on stretching, wrist range of motion, and strengthening. Unfortunately, LaMelo will miss the rest of his stellar rookie season. And after healing and rehab, LaMelo's productivity should be solid, but in the NBA, shooting goes down a bit, about 5 to 7% for the first 2 to 3 months when he returns.